Buongiorno. ¿Dónde está? I don't know. I think that means where is. But I don't know what I wanted to know where something was. So, anyway, welcome to the Nobody Asked for This podcast, episode number 80-something. Yeah, for whatever reason, I've decided that I'm going to keep not counting down, I guess, rather counting up the episode numbers. For a while, I stopped doing that because I genuinely lost count, which I think was probably a good thing. It meant that, we had just so many episodes that I just couldn't keep them straight. But, yeah, we're back. We're back to the numbered. But I hope everyone has had a great week. I am sitting here on a crisp Wednesday morning at 8:58 a.m. I am not in my regular studio of my beanbag chair. I am in the car, which is my second favorite studio, second and only other studio. I obviously use that term quite loosely. But yeah, I'm just sitting here drinking my iced coffee, which I decided that today was the day I could start drinking iced coffee again. I'd had, over the past 3 or 4 months, I'd had a sporadic iced coffee here and there. I won't get into my theory again, how, people look at you weird if you have an iced coffee, but if I got a Coke at McDonald's with my fries and my Big Mac, no one would think twice. It's literally the same thing. It's ice in your drink. Like, I get there's not like a hot option, but still, just think about that, people, okay? So I'm sitting here with my iced coffee. I have to say, I have rediscovered a newfound love. Okay, wait. Newfound. Does that mean you've never had it before? Because I think I've had this before, so I guess rediscovered was the term. So I'm going to go with my gut. I've rediscovered my love for the sausage egg McMuffin, or whatever that's called. Yeah, the breakfast sandwich with the sausage in it, that's probably 80% sodium, 20% actual sausage meat. Well, probably 10% real sausage meat, 10% like a Beyond Beef situation. But I have to say those things are very good. The way the fake cheese melts onto the fake egg, and then all of that with the fake meat on what I think is a real bun, it really the combination is perfect. Perfect. That, a hash brown, and an iced coffee, you can't go wrong. Unless, of course, you were talking to a nutritionist. They would probably find some wrong with that. But listen, let's not get down at now 9:01 a.m. on a Wednesday. Oh, sorry, I broke the illusion. I mean, this is Thursday, duh, because this comes out on a Thursday. You're obviously listening to this. And I mean, listen. When I say people are listening to this, I mean I say that loosely. But yeah, obviously, duh, it's Thursday, February 8th. February 8th, my favorite day. I'm actually going to start, I think, referring to the dates as, like, only numerically. So, like, I don't know, what's a date? June 1st. It's not June 1st anymore, it's 6/1. So I'm going to start doing that. So if that catches on, just know where it came from. Just know who started it, because it was me. And then I guess whoever invented like the Roman numerals or you know what I mean, like whoever actually invented that version of the calendar, well I'll give that to them. So they're first. Second person to start that was me, to really circulate it. I also decided, for whatever reason, I was driving this morning and I passed a Crate and Barrel, and I decided I was going to start shopping there. I don't know what they do. I don't know exactly what they sell. I just like the fact that they have the "and" sign in their title. I've never purchased a crate. I've never really needed a crate. Although I probably could have, there's probably been times where my life could have benefited from a crate. I've never come into contact with a barrel, and don't think I will be needing to, but I would like to start shopping there just because it looked fancy. My New Year's resolution this year, which I feel like because January felt so long, this year is half over, but it's only like a 12th over. We still have months 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, as well as 12. To really go through. I saw a sign also driving. Apparently I got so much material for my drive. I saw a sign that said Happy New Year, and I was like, why is there a sign that says Happy New Year in the middle of the year. And then I checked the calendar and it was only 2/8 or 2/7 or whatever. I've lost track of fake reality versus real reality timeline. But I'm going to start shopping at Crate & Barrel. I'm just going to double check what they sell. Crate. Also, like, if it turns out that these people are, like, the people that own Crate & Barrel are terrible and, like, we actually should be boycotting, like, I'm down with the boycott. I just haven't looked into it yet. So I don't want to blindly support Crate & Barrel. Crate & Barrel. What do they sell? Furniture, houseware. Okay. Decor. And there is an accent over the E. Like, do you know how, like, it's like Beyonce, like, with the accent that way, going kind of, okay, wait, I'm trying to figure out the compass. It would be southeast to northwest, that accent. So that's how you know it's fancy. I feel like at Walmart, they just spell decor, D, normal E, C-O-R, so. Oh, they're having a winter sale, everybody. Run over. Okay. So I'm glad we've got that settled. Something else I was thinking of while we're talking about stores is my favorite thing probably ever, top 5 favorite things ever, is when one store will take over another store but keep the same shape and or color scheme of the store that came before it. Because I was driving, again, thank God I went on a drive today. Thank God I needed to drive because I would have nothing to talk about. I was driving and I can't remember what the store is now, but it used to be a Best Buy. And the store that took over it looks like a Best Buy. Like it has like the blue and like the yellow strip around it. And then I don't know if all Best Buys have this, but at least ones that I've seen, they have that like sort of like slanted front. Like above where the door, like where the Best Buy name is, it's like, it's not like a block. It's like there's kind of like a slant at the top. I think that's a Best Buy thing. You might have no idea what I'm talking about, which probably isn't really rare for the Nobody Asked for this podcast. So I'm just going to own it. But yeah, that's my favorite thing because it's just like, what? It's very Spirit of Halloween, except year round, not seasonal. Which, like those Spirit of Halloween stores, do they have, like, is there, like, a CEO of Spirit of Halloween? I'd imagine there'd have to be, but, like, how can you be a manager of a Spirit of Halloween? For anyone who doesn't know, Spirit of Halloween is a store that obviously comes out around Halloween. I want to say around probably late summer, so, like, maybe at very end of August, and then September, maybe even later than that. I don't think they're around for that long, but, like, September and October, they're open, and they take over, like, huge department stores, but like I never remember like what was there before. It's always like abandoned buildings or stuff like that, but then what is that building for the rest of the year? And because it's only like a 2-month out of the 12-month year job, it's only months 9 and 10 to go with my new format. Because it's only months 9 and 10, how do you like make a living the rest of the year? Now, having said that, only working 2 months of the year sounds good to me. That would fit my lifestyle. Let me Google Spirit. And if I've talked about this in a previous episode, probably closer to Halloween, I do apologize, but I can't remember. And I also can't remember if I've Googled this before. Okay, so I've just to kind of follow you on this allow you to follow me on this Google journey. I've Googled Spirit Halloween, and you know into Google when you type a store, it'll tell you like their hours or whatever. And they do have locations, but they're all temporarily closed. So I'm going to click one and see what is in that. I'm going to get the address. Okay. I'm not going to say the address because that's like, I don't want you to come find me. Although I will say there's a lot of episodes of the Nobody Asked for this podcast where literally like 0 listeners. So I do kind of laugh at the fact that like on those episodes, I really could have just said my whole credit card number, my address, my social thing number. What is that called? Social security number. And like nothing would have happened. Not that I would ever do that, but I could. Okay. Let me see. Oh, okay. So what's there now? Huh, okay. So there is a store there, but it's not looking like an actual, it's not like a Walmart or anything. Okay. Very interesting. I might just have to go on down there and say, hey, do any of you run the Spirit of Halloween? And if so, are you hiring? In the spirit of absolute transparency, I feel it is important to let everybody know that from now on, the rest of this podcast that you will hear is about 12 hours later. Actually, almost exactly 12 hours later. We have transitioned to evening time. I am no longer on the go, so to speak. I am back in my comfy beanbag chair, and that's how I like it. I was too lazy to make any sort of beverage, a coffee, probably decaf at this hour, maybe like a pop or something. So I'm I'm holding a mug that is empty and left over from the last time I recorded, just really for the ambiance and for the feeling, the ritual, rather. And I don't regret it. I did have to choose between holding my empty mug and my microphone that's not plugged in. Just for a little recap on how I record these, I just record them into my phone via voice notes app, which I'm sure you could hear based on the sound quality being how you could say awful. But yeah, so we're back. It's 12 hours later. I hope everyone has had a great 12 hours. For you, it won't feel like 12 hours, hopefully, unless this is a really boring episode, in which case I just assume you would just turn it off. But yeah, I've been sitting here. I sat down to record, the rest of the episode approximately 2 hours ago. And then something happened where I was just staring at my phone. And not like a blank screen by any means. I was just on the various apps for about 2 hours, and it felt like 5 minutes. So I'm going to need a scientific explanation as to how that happens. I got nothing done. I was not productive in any way. I did not accomplish anything. I don't even think I communicated with somebody in the 2 hours, but 2 hours passed. So I'm really going to be needing those 2 hours back because life is precious, and I was just staring at my phone. I almost feel like I'm at a point now where me watching TV almost feels productive because at least I wasn't just scrolling on my phone. Do you know what I mean? If I sat down here, which I don't really like to do, I don't like to just sit down and watch hours of TV. Not that there's anything wrong with it if you do. It just makes me nervous. Again, the passing of time. But for some reason, when I'm just scrolling on my phone, I don't realize the passing of time. Not to turn into Interstellar, which, speaking of sitting in front of the TV for hours. But yeah. But again, I'm at a point now where I'm oh, good for me. I watch TV and not just stare at my phone. The worst is when you stare at your phone while watching TV. That's how you know this whole operation is going south. When one screen becomes not enough, we're screwed. What are we going to do? Okay, I know we don't really talk about current events on this podcast, but I think I'm going to make an exception here because I saw probably the craziest thing that I've ever seen. Very Black Mirror, very a glimpse into the future. And let me tell you, the future is not friendly. The future is terrifying. I saw a video of somebody wearing what looked like a VR headset, but I guess Apple, our friends at Apple, which, by the way, Apple, if you're listening, take everything I'm saying in jest. This is a comedy podcast, or trying to be, or lack thereof. But my phone is busted. So Apple, if you would like to send me a new phone, I will accept. I will not be purchasing a new phone because I just refuse to allow you to have more of my finances. I just feel like I'm not letting them get me again. But if you want to send me a new phone, I'll take it. Honestly, you don't even have to send me the newest one because, let's be honest, they're all kind of the same. Like, you can send me, if you have like a storage unit of like the discontinued ones, as long as it's like a functioning phone, I'll take it. So you can just send that over. Listen, I would give you my address, but like you probably already have it, so we're good. Just send it to me. Tap into my whatever you need to tap into that I already know you're tapping into, and just use that knowledge for good for once in your freaking lives. Okay. But I saw a video of someone, again, wearing a VR headset, and it was like Apple Vision goggles or something, and apparently with this headset, you can wear it, and you can see essentially like a phone screen, and then I guess the keyboard like pops up, and you can essentially just like press thin air and it types everything. So you basically work your phone without actually having to touch a screen. And I saw a video of someone, I don't know where, but someone in a subway just like using this, and I got terrified. Like that is the future. You're just going to be like on a bus, on public transit, and everyone's going to have these VR things and just, typing into thin air. And I feel like that worries me. I feel like we maybe need to like pump the brakes. I've been saying it for a while. At least 40 of the episodes out of the 80 something that we've established of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. Like, I just feel like we're going too far. Like, we're good. I feel like technology is at a place where like I have to do I have to put little to no effort into 80% of the daily tasks that I have to do. Everything's been made easier by technology, which I appreciate, and it's very convenient, but like, can we stop? Like, I think we're creating our own downfall. And I know I'm not the first, that's not an original thought, but I really think I think we're good. I think we're perfect. I think the geniuses that are creating all of these, VR and virtual this, and we're going to put goggles on and use our phone. Like, I think we're so lucky to have their brains and their intelligence. I think they should put it towards, maybe something else. Because I think technology, check, we did it. On to the next one. I don't know what that is, but on to the next one. So that's just, again, my now becoming weekly plea, rather. I feel like I've said rather 400 times this episode, but my plea for pause. My plea for pause. My plea for technological pause. Oh, I don't know how to transition this into what I want to talk about next, but I believe this is the first episode we've done since Groundhog Day. I gotta be honest, I feel like it's... I think I'm the only person to say this. Groundhog Day really snuck up on me this year. I feel like it's normally like closer to the middle of February. I could be totally wrong. It could be February 2nd or whatever it was every day. But I feel like it didn't get the attention that it normally gets. Now, I want to say right off the bat, I know some people, especially in the last couple of years, there's been like a sort of a questioning of like, how the treatment of the groundhog. And I think we should definitely be looking into that to make sure, everything is on the up and up. But actually, okay, is the guy, what's his name? Puxatawny Phil. Is he the same groundhog? I'm going to do some Googling. Let's do this live. Is there, Groundhog Day groundhog? Because I also read some wild statistic, like they've been right 40% of the time. Which, to be fair, in my job as well, I'm usually right about 40% of the time on a good day. So, like, can't really complain there. Groundhog Day. All that's coming up is the movie, which is not a bad movie, but is actually has almost nothing to do with Groundhog Day, confusingly. Okay, answer to my first question, just straight up, I'm on the Groundhog Day Wikipedia page, so you're getting the right information here. Listen, I will defend Wikipedia till I'm no longer. If Wikipedia has 100 fans, I'm one of them. If Wikipedia has one fan, I am that fan. And if Wikipedia has 0 fans, I've exited the situation because they've never steered me wrong. I can honestly tell you that. A lot of things have. I've steered myself wrong several times. I've probably done it in the last 20 minutes, but the Wikipedia has never done such a thing. So back to this. Okay. I just want to explain it. If anyone happens to not know, which I don't know, I feel like, is Groundhog's Day just like a North American thing? Is it regional? I feel like we're always doing like stupid stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if the rest of the world is like, you guys are stupid. Like we don't look at our weather based on groundhogs. But you never know. So Groundhog's Day basically is, there is a groundhog who, as stated before, I'm trying to figure out if it's like the same groundhog or if it's a different groundhog, or if it's like they pick a groundhog and other groundhogs are like, pick me. And then that groundhog is like brought to a location in which they are either see their shadow or they don't see their shadow. As I'm explaining it, I'm starting to realize that I've never really thought long and hard about this. And it is an interesting concept. No offense if the history is like deeply rooted in something special. I'm sure it's all good. I respect it, but okay, a little interesting. But yeah, basically if the groundhog sees his shadow, that means we have, he either sees it or he doesn't. And one outcome means we have 6 more weeks of winter, and one outcome means an early spring. Now, what I will tell you is that for 2024, the year we are currently in, if anyone is listening to this, and I was going to say before or after, but it would definitely be in a future year, an early spring was predicted. Now, I will update you in, I guess, 6 weeks to tell you if that was the case. It's been warmer, so he's onto something. But also, like, it was warmer before February 2nd, so did he know to, like, see his shadow or to not? Okay, let's see. Let's read the proper description from Wikipedia. Groundhog's Day is a tradition observed regionally in the United States and Canada on February 2nd of every year. Perfect. It derives from the Pennsylvania Dutch superstition that if a groundhog emerges from its burrow on this day and sees its shadow, it will retreat to its den and winter will go on for 6 more weeks. Okay. If it does not see its shadow, spring will arrive early. Perfect. So I guess the groundhog, is in a den for the other 364 days. Or I guess it's a leap year this year, so the 365 days. And then, can I just say, side note, how confusing it is that a leap year means that there's an extra day? Does that not sound like we're leaping over one of the days? Also, I might have said this last week, but I was certain, like, if you give me a multiple choice test, how many years, like, does a leap year occur? I was sure it was 7. I was, like, almost certain it was 7. But it's not. It's every 4. Which would mean that 2020 was a leap year, which is, like, the year that we least needed an extra day of. Which it's unforgivable. Even though it's no one's fault. But it just is. So anyway, I'm going to be like 100% honest with you. I'm not fully understanding this whole groundhog thing. I know I read the sentence from my own mouth, but I don't really get, like, if the shadow is good or bad. Okay, let me read this again. If a groundhog emerges from its burrow and sees its shadow, okay, so shadow is bad, which wouldn't shadow mean sun, in which case it's going to be spring? I'm so confused. We're going to have to get a groundhog expert onto here. Other cities. Okay. And I guess his name is Puxatawny Phil because from Puxatawny, Pennsylvania, which I think is where Philadelphia is. So there's that. Love to Puxatawny Phil. I hope your situation is good. I think we should have people looking into that. I'm sure, like, PETA's on it right away. So yeah, everyone get ready for an early spring. It's happening. Spring has sprung. When is spring supposed to start again? March something? Don't get me started on the seasons. I will never understand why they start 3 weeks into the month when they could just, like, there's 12 months of the year. There's 4 seasons. You can just split up 3, 3, 3, 3, even January 1st to March 30th. Is there a 31st in March? March 31st. Actually, no, I wouldn't want it to start like that. It could go, okay, so I can only start from September. So September, October, November, fall. December, January, February, winter. March, April, May, spring. June, July, August, summer. What was so hard about that? Starting a season on the 21st or whatever doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. I'm sorry. I don't know. Do I have to think of everything? Does it always have to be me? It's truly a burden to be the ideas person. I would like to say my 2024 New Year's resolution. First resolution, obviously, as I stated before, going to Crate and Barrel, which still not really aware. 12 hours have passed since I've made that resolution, and I, 1, haven't done it, and 2, haven't been given any more clarity as to what they sell. But if I'm ever in a situation where I'm looking for either of those items, a crate or a barrel, I know where to go. I appreciate that in a store name. Like, don't put like a name that you have to be like, is this a candle store or a deli? Like, tell me what you're selling. You're selling crates and barrels. Perfect. I feel like smaller towns too. Anytime I've been to a smaller town, like the stores are just called like dairy. Like they're just called what they are. Like I don't need like something fancy where it's like, do they sell fabric here or salami? Both of which were on my Christmas list this year. So it's like, I don't know where to go. I'm confused. I had a thought last year where I was like, I should work at Fabricland. I feel like I would crush at Fabricland. I would sell so much fabric. I know nothing about fabric or like what one does with fabric. I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like as much as I feel called to shop at Crate and Barrel, I feel like I need to just work at Fabricland. Like I thought about that a couple times of just like kind of retreating from everything else and just doing like midday shifts at Fabricland. I think we would all be a lot happier if more people did that. And they would also have to open up more Fabriclands. And then the Fabriclands could become Spirit of Halloween stores. But I'll be taking the months where it operates as a Spirit of Halloween store off because I just feel like it's not going to be good. It's going to be so busy, people trying to find their costume. Like I'll bulk up some vacation time from my Fabricland benefits package and hit the road. I'll see you in November type situation. Do the Spirit of Halloween stores close like November 1st? Like October 31st, midnight, done. I'm going to Google that. When do Spirit of Halloween stores close? I don't know what podcast host did before Google. Like, if you were a solo podcast host before Google, what did you do? Okay. They're not telling me the answer to this. Oh, that's really funny. Do you know how on Google, the, like you can type in a question and then there's like a couple like sample questions and then there's like a drop down menu that you can click. One of them says, are all sales final at Spirit of Halloween? That's a really good question. And the answer is sometimes. Cool. I can't really remember why what I was meaning to Google here, but that's fine. This episode's been all over the place. I apologize. They can't all be great. But in summary, Crate and Barrel, we're shopping there. Fabricland, we're working there. Spirit of Halloween, we have questions. We're asking technology to just stop advancing. unless like, okay, the only exception I'll make is like medical advancements. Like, yes, whatever technology we need to cure as many things as we have to cure, as we can cure, let's do that. Let's put our efforts towards there. I don't need to have Google Glass or Apple VR headset keyboard into thin air. I don't need that. And in most situations, I would say to each their own. But like, I feel like no one needs that. I'm open to arguments. Like if people think like no, there's a need for this, then sure. I'm open to making exceptions, but my initial instinct is unfortunately no. And yeah, I hope everyone has a great weekend. I hope you go to Podbean, or no, what is this website? podcastnobodyaskforthis.podbean.com. I would just like to remind people I did not pick the name Podbean. That is the name of the whatever podcast website that I use. And on that website, you can listen to the episodes just straight off of there. You can get links to our Spotify or iTunes or other things, Amazon Podcasts or whatever it's called, Google Podcasts. And yeah, thank you for listening. I really do. If you did listen to this, I really do appreciate it. And yeah, see you on the next one.